Hello everybody, welcome. I am going to be playing an Ace Attorney game today. So this is the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy. I'm not going to be playing every game in it because it has Apollo Justice, Dual Destinies, and Spirit of Justice. And I have already played 2 of those in the past. So we're not going to be playing... let's see. Sorry, I need to learn the controls here. Dual Destinies I've already played, and Spirit of Justice is the only game in the main series, like those main 6 games, that I have not played. I started playing it ages ago on my phone, because they have it on they have it on mobile devices, but I didn't finish it, and then I got a new phone, and it didn't work on the new phone. So I'm going to be playing it now. And this I have largely not experienced. I only played maybe like 10 minutes of it. I'm not sure.
On the western edge of the Far East lies a peaceful country of spirit mediums and mystery, the kingdom of Courtroom. But now, the flames of revolution are threatening to consume it whole.
Well, that's not usually a good sign.
Things like revolt and revolution were the furthest things from my mind.
Hey, it's my boy! Phoenix Wright himself. The legendary lawyer. I don't know how famous he actually is in universe, but he seems like he would be decently well known. I forgot there were animated cutscenes. I know they were in Dual Destinies, but I forgot Spirit of Justice had them too. Episode 1, The Foreign Turnabout. This is going to be the tutorial case, where I learn how to play the game. Which maybe I need because I haven't played an Ace Attorney game in quite a while. Here in Courtroom, death is not the end. Even after death, the soul lives on in the Twilight Realm, and priestesses can commune with the spirits of the dead. Fear not death. In the name of the Holy Mother, fear only the impurities of your soul. I have heard... Oh, that's a dead guy. That is presumably the one who made him dead. This blight on my soul. I'll have the child take the blame. Well, that's a bit mean. You're going to blame a kid for your murder? But I have heard many people do not like this game. So we're going to see if I share that sentiment, or if I actually end up enjoying this game. Kingdom of Courtroom. Whew, I'm finally here. So this is the Kingdom of Courtroom, huh? What a long trip. I wonder how many hours I was in the air. I don't know, you didn't keep track? But just look at this place. Yeah, it's pretty nice, actually, all things considered. Get a load of this street. It really feels like I'm in another world here. Whoa. It's like a big temple or something. And that gorgeous temple. I read that's the center of town. Wow, an ox right in the middle of the street. I have to get a picture of that. Give me 1 second, I'm going to go into the options. I'm probably going to change it in editing, but the, windowing is a little weird on my end. It will not, like, full screen. And I'm not certain how to fix that. Yeah, no, there does not seem to be a way to fix it, so I will try to fix it in, editing, and if I can't, then you're just going to have to deal with Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy at the top of the screen. So let's just keep going. Excuse me, sir. I wonder what kind of bird that is. I've never seen anything like it. That's quite a crest it has on its head. Excuse me, sir. What? Oh, yes? Pardon me, but are you Mr. Wright? Yes, that's right. What, I'm right? Oops, hope he hasn't been trying to get my attention all this time. Yeah, only like 5-10 seconds, maybe. Wait a minute. Are you... That's right. I'll be your guide. I forgot that was this kid's name. I'll be your guide. At your service. I'm a monk in training at Temple, and I'll be your guide around town. Thanks, kiddo. It's very nice to meet you. Happy Rocky. Happy what now? Happy Rocky. That's how we greet people here in Courtroom. It's like hello, or how do you do? It's a pretty handy expression to know. Okay, let me give it a try. Hello, I'm Phoenix Wright. Happy Rocky. Great job. My name is Phoenix Wright, I'm aware, and I run a small law office. Well, that's what I do back home anyway. Right now, I'm just a traveler, a stranger in a strange land. Yeah, you're going to be forced into doing lawyer things, I would assume. I think that's what's going to happen in this game. You came here for a nice vacation, and you end up having to do lawyer stuff anyway. You can never get away from the grind. Welcome to our country. Welcome to the Kingdom of Courtroom, land of spirit mediums and mystery. This is for you. Is that a Magatama cake? To celebrate your arrival. Speaking of mystery, what is this mysterious green lump exactly? Allow me to explain. This is a famous Koreanese sweet bun. It's called a Magatama, or a soul bun. It's shaped like a Magatama. It's so yummy it'll send your soul right to the Twilight Realm. I don't think... I mean, that's where dead people are, right? Are you saying it's going to kill me? That doesn't exactly make me eager to try it. Me neither. Thanks. I think I'll indulge later. Well... That will be 20 damas. Thank you for your patronage. I have to pay? I thought it was a gift. I always have plenty of those on hand, so just let me know if you ever want any more. Hang on, I am having eyelashes in my eyes, and it's really annoying me. No wonder his bag looks so heavy. It's stuffed with all the tools of his trade. These eyelashes are really irking me right now. Oops, I almost forgot to tell you something really important. It's about Miss Maya. Oh right, Maya comes back in this game. I love her. Maya is quite probably one of my favorite characters in Ace Attorney, if not my actual favorite. She can't come see you for a few days yet. Yeah, when I called her from the airport, she said she was still training up in the mountains. I told her I'd wait for her here. Either way, I was glad to hear she's in good spirits. Maya Fey. She's a spirit medium who used to work as my assistant. God, I love her. I will be so happy to see her again, because she wasn't in Apollo Justice or Dual Destinies. So I'm going to be extremely happy to see her again. I love Maya so much. I came all the way out here to celebrate the end of her ascetic training with her. I probably said that wrong. This is my first time in this country, so I'll be counting on you, okay? You got it, sir. Please don't hesitate if you need anything at all. Maya was right when she told me I could leave everything in your capable hands. Aw, shucks, she said that. That sure was nice of her. She's got a tooth gap. I had a chance to show Miss Maya around a little bit, too. If there's one person Maya was worried about, it's me. Because we both know trouble likes to follow you wherever you go, she said. Well, that's foreshadowing, because there's definitely going to be trouble. That girl worries too much. But you sure came early to the party, Mr. Wright, sir. I mean, Miss Maya won't be done with her training for another 2 weeks. Ugh, I hate to admit it, but I came early because I was worried about her too. Oh, well, you know. Haha, I thought I'd get in a little sightseeing first. Oh, sightseeing? Well, I'm your man for that. I'll show you all the best sights this country has to offer. Thanks, that would be great. I guess Albie takes his job very seriously. Well, what are we waiting for? Those sights aren't going to see themselves. I guess not. Yikes, you don't have to shove. First up, Temple. Right there in the center of town. There's something in there I really want to show you. Alright. I really hope I'm recording right now. It would suck if I'm not. April 23rd, 4:45 p.m. Temple Plaza. Wow, it's even more impressive up close. Allow me to explain. This is the heart of our town, Temple. It was created by the founder of Courtroom, the Holy Mother herself. I'm training right here at this temple to be a monk someday. I read that the people of this country are all adherents of Courtroom. According to my guidebook, it's a religion in which ancestral spirits are venerated. Interesting. The Holy Mother was a great spirit medium who would commune with her ancestor souls, and spirit mediums become queen to this day, direct descendants of the Holy Mother. A spirit medium rules the entire country, huh? Talk about power and influence. The main thing you'll want to see when you come to Temple is the Dance of Devotion rite. The Dance of Devotion takes place twice, once in the morning and once in the afternoon. This dance, along with the Song of Ceremony, is performed in offering to the Holy Mother. The Dance of Devotion has the power to summon forth souls from the Twilight Realm. Could we believe this was given to swings from the friends? Hold it! Slow down. I can't remember all of that at once. I couldn't even read your dialogue. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I got a little overexcited. Anyway, the main thing I got from all that is that you really, really love your country. The kid's a real patriot. Heh, well, that's sure true. I like this kid. He pours his heart into everything he does. Let's see. I guess I just explained about half of what I usually explain. So I'll give you a special discount and only charge you $10 for the tour fee. Thank you for your patronage. This kid's a scam artist. I guess he pours his heart into aggressive salesmanship, too. I mean, what's he gonna do if you just don't pay? He can't take it back. He can't, like, reach into your brain and take the knowledge out of it. So really, there's no danger if you don't pay. Come to think of it, Miss Maya told me she could tell I love my country, too. We stood here for about an hour while I told her all about the Holy Mother. Really? An hour? Hope that counted as patience training. And she seemed really interested, too. She listened to my whole speech. Huh. That doesn't sound like the Maya I know. Miss Maya is so kind and nice. She treats me really well, like a little brother. That's sweet. She's kind of like a big sister to me. This is Maya Fey you're talking about, right? Maybe she's grown up since I last saw her. Can someone quiet that thing down? Oh no! What's the matter? Is it that time already? We have to hurry into the temple right away. But first, let me give you this lyrics card for the Song of Ceremony I told you about. There's an English translation of the lyrics there too, so give it a read, okay? Let's go. But why the big rush? If we don't hurry, we'll miss the beginning of Her Benevolence's Dance of Devotion. Her Benevolence? I'm assuming maybe a priestess or something? I did play this part when I originally played the game on my phone, but it was so long ago that I don't remember anything. Except that there definitely will be a criminal case. That's what I remember. The animated cutscenes look nice, I think. I don't really know. I don't watch a whole lot of, like, anime and whatnot, so I really have no idea what counts as well animated or not. But it looks nice to me. And since I'm the one playing the game, that's really all that matters. Uh-oh. Those are some... Well, I don't think it's a good thing if the cops bust into your, daily ritual dance. That seems like a bad sign.
I'll be your guide. You're under arrest for treason.
Treason? He's like 12 years old. If that. I don't know how old this kid is. But he's definitely... he can't be more than like 13. It probably says it in, like, the whatever. April 24th, 10:10 a.m. High Court of Courtroom. Accused lobby. Let me in. Why won't you let me in? 'Cause you're a foreigner. What business could you have with this court? I told you, my friend is on trial in there. The police raided the temple in the middle of the dance performance yesterday, and arrested Albie on suspicion of treason. I was worried about Albie, so I just had to come see his trial. The trial isn't a tourist attraction, so clear off. If you want a picture for your scrapbook, take one of me and get out of here. Look, you've got it all wrong. Just great. Well, I guess there's only one thing to do. Well, if his argument is that I'm a foreigner, then if I just say I'm Chinese, then surely there's no problem. Actually, I used to be, Chinese. That's really hard to say. What? I lived here when I was little. Oh, really? What town are you from? Oh, well, it was a tiny village called Phoenixia. Is he gonna buy it? There's no such place. Did you really expect to get away with a barefaced lie like that? Busted. Well, I guess that means there's only one thing left to say. Yes, I'm a foreigner, but I'm not your average foreigner. What? I'm actually a lawyer. Back at home, anyway. I don't think he's licensed to practice law in this country. What? Lawyer? I can't. That's not possible. What's he so shocked about? Oh, whatever. Now's my nothing wrong with a lawyer entering the courtroom, right? Wait, get back here, you! He just went for it. Sometimes it's easy to forget that Phoenix Wright is actually a bit of a dumbass. I just completely missed a dialogue box. Wait, isn't that her benevolence? What's she doing here in court? The divination seance has been performed. I will now hand down my verdict against the accused. Oh, well, I guess I showed up a bit late. Sorry, kiddo. What? A verdict already? But the trial only just started. Guilty? There's gotta be some kind of mistake. Please take another look. Seances performed by Princess Rafa are infallible. They show only the truth. What right do you have to question her abilities? But I didn't... Why does he look like... Is it that actually Pain? Isn't it ironic that you, a devout adherent of Koreanism, would dare doubt her insight? Hehe, non-believers only be met with suffering in the Twilight Realm, you know. But I didn't do it. Your benevolence, allow me to explain, I beg of you. Be silent, impudent whelp. There is no merit to be had in indulging the ramblings born of a criminal's unclean soul. Damn. That's a bit harsh. But... what in the world is going on here? The judge made his ruling based on something called a divination seance? What is Albie's attorney doing? Well, if you look at the other bench, he doesn't have one. Wait a minute. Where is Albie's attorney? Why is this happening? I didn't do anything wrong. Foolish child. Doubting the divination seance is tantamount to doubting the Holy Mother herself. Your Majesty, as royal priestess and in the name of the Holy Mother, I command you. Impose the highest penalty against this unclean soul. What do you mean by highest penalty? Do you mean like life sentence, or do you mean like life sentence? As you command, so shall it be done, your benevolence. May her holiness grant us her divine favor. Dihara Kurain. Is this the sentence? Is just to have the whole crowd chanting at him? Because 'Cause all things considered, that would be a pretty easy sentence to serve. There he is. Wait just one moment. You're... Ugh, me and my big mouth. Now what?
Mr. Wright, what are you doing here, sir?
Well, I'm in it now, so I have to do this right. Your Honor, it's too soon to give your verdict. The trial has only been underway for a few minutes. Excuse me? Who on earth are you? I'm... well... an ordinary tourist, Your Honor, just passing through. Tourist. Happy Rocky. But more importantly, where is this boy's defense attorney? Defense attorney? Ha 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 ha. Whatever are you talking about? He doesn't need a defense attorney. Wait, what? Of course you wouldn't be aware, being a foreigner and all. But we have no need for defense attorneys here in the kingdom of Courtroom. We leave it all up to her benevolence's sacred power of spirit communion. Her divination seances determine all. What? But surely you see how unfair that is. What kind of insane court system are they running here?
You would dare mock me, you barb-headed buffoon?
Well, hey, you don't need to come after the hair.
If you value your life, you will leave post-haste. Or shall I summon the bailiff?
The bailiff is that big scary dude with the big scary gun, isn't he?
I'm sure he would be happy to oblige you with a bullet or two as a souvenir of your travels.
At the cost of an arm and a leg, no doubt.
Now hold on, Mr. Wright has nothing to do with any of this.
Yeah, the arm and the leg are where the 2 bullets are going. Albie.
I appreciate what you're trying to do, Mr. Wright, but never mind about me.
Can I increase the text speed? I'm going to guess no. It does not look like I can. So that's unfortunate, but whatever.
You just go ahead and go see Miss Maya.
But...
forget about me, you have to go now. I'm sure you can find another guide. There were lots more places I wanted to show you, but it looks like I won't get a chance now. I'm sorry.
Oh. The poor kid. He's trying to put on a brave face, but look how terrified he is. What can I do? What should I do? Obviously, you defend this crying child. I can't just let a verdict be handed down with nobody standing in Albie's corner. Plus, how can we have the tutorial case if I don't defend this child? If Albie doesn't have a defense attorney, then I'll do it. I'll defend him. Defend him? You can't be serious. Did you hear that? Is he out of his mind? Heaven forbid.
Defend me? Right. What are you saying? You can't do that.
On the contrary, I most certainly can. Don't worry, I'm quite used to tackling all sorts of trials. Besides, can you imagine how furious Maya would be if I let anything happen to you?
Mr. Wright.
You are but a naive tourist, ignorant of our ways. But if you are smart, you will heed my advice. Do not pursue this matter any further. Well, I'm going to pursue it. Looks like defending somebody is easier said than done in this country. Bailiff, throw this man out. Payne. Your Majesty, if you please. You have something to say, Mr. Payne? Hehehe. Why not allow it, Your Majesty? Why not have him defend the accused? It could prove very interesting. Right, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Right. Mr. whoever you are. You don't recognize Payne. It's like, in all the tutorial cases, it's always a Winston Payne, I think, in the first game. Maybe the second, I don't know. I think there was also a Gaspin Payne, who is, like, related to Winston Payne. Prosecutor, are you acquainted with this traveler? That's Chief Prosecutor, Your Majesty. Yes, I am acquainted with him. He's a defense attorney from my native land. I've had dealings with him in the courtroom before.
Heavens to Betsy.
Who's Betsy?
What? Mr. Wright, you're a defense attorney?
Did Maya not tell you that part? A defense attorney? Well, this is a shock. You may be surprised to hear that I have more than 10 years of experience. And never mind the few years or so I've spent homeless and, without a license. I guess there aren't all that many lawyers around here. Magistrate, would you kindly allow us to proceed in the manner of my old country? Is this where you moved to after you got your ass kicked in the courtroom? But, Mr. Payne, I've already made a ruling in this case. That hardly matters. Call it nostalgia if you will, but I am most eager to give it a try. But I have a previous engagement, you see. A class together with the missus.
Your Majesty, I agree we should have a whack at it. Sounds amusing. 4 years have passed since we last saw a defense attorney in this courtroom.
A score? As in 20 years? What's the deal with this country? They are religious to a fault, it would seem.
Mr. Payne, I want that barbed head brought to me on a stick.
As you wish, your benevolence. I, Chief Prosecutor Payne, will see to it myself. Very well, Mr. Payne. If that is what you and her benevolence want, I will acquiesce. As for the defense, I hope you are prepared for every eventuality. Every eventuality? What is he talking about? There. Are you satisfied now, Mr. Wright? Yes. Thank you, Mr. Payne. And sorry for not remembering you earlier. That's Chief Prosecutor, or the Incredible Payne as I'm also known in this country. Yeah, you're an incredible pain in the ass, and you'll see soon enough just why that is. When you're forced to capitulate to me before this very court of law. Why is he so strangely confident? And not only that, but what's with the gallery? Just you watch, that defense attorney will try and twist the truth. You can bet on it. Get him, Chief Prosecutor, crush that defense devil. Wait, well, hey, defense devil sounds pretty badass. This is way more lawyer hate than even back home. Now, if you would please give your opening argument once again, Mr. Payne. Certainly, Your Majesty. The accused is charged with 2 crimes, larceny and murder. So, allegedly stole something and killed someone. Yesterday, the Founder's Orb was stolen from the treasure room of Temple. In addition to the theft, 2 other things were discovered in the treasure room. The dead body of Mr. Pat Roll. Temple security guard. I get it. Like patrol. Because he's a guard. The empty treasure box that housed the orb, which Mr. Roll was in charge of guarding. We believe that Mr. Roll was murdered by the thief who stole the treasure. Reasonable assumption. To kill a guard armed with a gun, what a terrifyingly bold act. I couldn't agree more, Your Majesty. Please, allow me to submit as evidence the victim's autopsy report and crime photo. His autopsy report. Time of death is around noon. His head shows signs of being hit with a blunt object. Okay, so he died around noon, hit with a blunt object. Crime photo. Temple's treasure room. Body was discovered at the base of the stairs to the altar. Got it. It's been a long time since we had evidence presented in court as well. It's kind of refreshing, actually. We may rely on the power of the seances, but our police still carry out investigations. Why is he so shiny? Thus, any proof I provide is indisputable. Oh, really? Well, forgive me if I don't just take your word for it. I can check the evidence out myself by looking the court record. Nice. And I can check profiles as well. How do I... Can I just click it? Okay. He's 9? Okay, this kid's even younger than I thought. This industrious young man is both a monk in training and a Chinese tour guide. This is Gaspin Payne. Okay, this is not Winston. A prosecutor from back home, though what he's doing here as Crying's chief prosecutor is beyond me. Pat Roll, the victim in this case. He guarded the treasure room treasure and was killed by the thief who stole it. Okay. Oh, it's Q and E to switch tabs. If I just looked at the bottom where the controls were, I would have seen that. We'll see just how thorough you and your police were, Mr. Payne. Such a deplorable crime. The audacity of stealing the sacred treasure of Her Holiness, our founding mother. It's a crime that strikes at the very heart of our nation. Exactly, Your Majesty. We mustn't let the culprit get away with these heinous deeds. Well, that's exactly what you're trying to do, is let the culprit get away with the heinous deed. Indeed, such deeds are best described as treason against the crown. Is this treasure really such a valuable object? How can you even ask such a thing? Of course it is. Why, sealed within this treasure is the very soul, the mitama, of the Holy Mother. Her soul is sealed within the treasure? I think I'll take that with a grain of salt. I mean, you've seen enough supernatural things throughout your career. You've literally seen Maya channel spirits, so I don't know why you're so skeptical about this. You don't believe it, do you? Of course I believe it. Something tells me I'd better play along. This kind of irreverence is exactly why I dislike defense attorneys so much. Your Honor, Your Majesty? What is it now? This treasure, I've never seen it, so it's a little hard for me to imagine. Could I see a photo of it or something? Of all the outlandish requests, your defense attorneys are truly beyond the pale. He's been getting awfully angry with me. Are those veins popping out of his forehead? It's forbidden for anyone outside of the royal family to view the treasure itself. They say that anyone without the proper spiritual power would be blinded instantly. That is why the average person has never seen the treasure, Mr. Wright. One moment. Apologies, I just had to clear my throat. I guess there are national treasures that are off limits to the public back home, too. For the benefit of the shamelessly uninformed defense, let me share this newspaper article. It includes photos taken about 8 years ago when the treasure was unearthed. These are the only public photos of the outer box in existence. What's more, the treasure box only leaves the temple's treasure room but once a year, for a special New Year's rite that takes place at the palace. Therefore, this treasure box has only ever been seen by a handful of people. Forced open and its contents stolen, the average person can only see it in this newspaper article. Okay, that's the average person, though. So if you're an unaverage person, either above or below average, you have other ways you can see the box. I hear there's been a string of thefts lately of historic artifacts from the temple. Right, Your Majesty. Inexcusable thievery of precious national treasures for personal gain. And the culprit is the accused. So he used his position as monk in training to get his hands on the treasure, is that it? The accused's family is by no means wealthy. To help with family finances, he works as a tour guide in addition to his ascetics training. Ascetic, I don't know how to say that. Thank you for giving an excellent outline of the case, Mr. Payne. Now then, no more questions from the defense, I presume? No, I do have questions. Even more, but you just asked a bunch. Well, make it... That starts in just a few short minutes. What? He's still planning on going to that thing? There's still a lot I don't know about the case. I should ask now while I have the chance. Let's see. What else do I need to know more about? I guess knowing about the crime scene would help. Mr. Payne, where did the crime take place? What? As I already stated, it was in the treasure room of the temple. Oops, that's right. Have you even been paying attention? Okay, I thought it would be the sort of thing where we just go down and hear all of it. Whatever. These lying lawyers, not only do they lack morals, but memory, too. He apparently has all the brain power of a barnyard chicken, Your Majesty. Oh ho ho, that explains why he has a crest like a rooster. No matter where I go in the world, the insults are always the same. It's always about the hair. Your Majesty, please let me try again. Let's see, I don't believe there's been anything about the murder weapon yet. Because you mentioned the motive, which was apparently, to sell it for money. But we don't know what the weapon was. Mr. Payne, what was the murder weapon? The murder weapon was the treasure box itself. I see. The empty treasure box left at the scene had a large blood stain on it. How utterly reprehensible, using the sacred treasure box for murder. That is pretty fucked up. The accused came to the treasure room with the express purpose of stealing the treasure. He climbed the altar stairs and snatched the box, ready to abscond with it. But he was discovered by Mr. Roll, who had come to the room in the course of his rounds. Or you could say his patrol. After walloping Mr. Roll on the head with the treasure box, the accused forced the bloodied housing open and made off with the treasure inside. The murder weapon, off limits to the public, the photos in the paper are the only ones of it in existence. Its contents were stolen. Okay, so that's slightly different from before. Photos in the paper are the only ones of it in existence. But the defendant is just a little boy. I hardly think he would be able to hit the victim, a grown man, on the head. Ah, a very good point, Mr. Wright. But I'm afraid that won't help you. At the time of the crime, the accused was on the stairs leading up to the altar. The accused's elevated position would more than make up for the difference in stature. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Ha 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 ha. Mr. Payne, your reasoning is flawless. What an elegant argument. Hats off to you, Chief Prosecutor. Your title is obviously well earned. Well, the accused's guilt is certainly conclusive. Unless there is anything else, I am ready to announce my verdict. Very well. In that case, I find the accused... Just one moment. Don't you think you're rushing the verdict just a little bit? I told you. I have plans to attend to, and... Ah! I'm late! It's already started! How did the time fly by so fast? Still stuck on that? We haven't even heard the defendant's side of the story yet. Your Majesty, the defense asserts its right to cross-examine the defendant. I don't think that went over well. Huh? Did I say something funny? I don't think anyone's laughing. Cross-examine the... What do you mean by that? What? What do you mean, what do I mean? I seem to have some dim recollection of the process, but I can't quite recall. And little wonder, a so-called defendant hasn't been questioned in over 20 years. Should I even be surprised anymore? No, it's just a waste of energy at this point. Anyway, I demand we let the defendant, or the accused, tell his side of the story. Is that really necessary? Of course it's necessary, Your Majesty. Hehehe, what I'm gonna do? I say we allow the boy to speak, Your Majesty. Your own hubris and confidence will be your downfall, Mr. Payne. You're going to lose this case only because you keep allowing this to happen, so thank you. Do you have anything of relevance to say? Oh, how kind of you, your royal Payness. Very well. As long as it's okay with you, Mr. Payne. I'm already hopelessly late for my class anyway. In that case, the prosecution calls the accused back to the witness stand. Oh, but before we do, I'd better call my wife and apologize for missing that. Any objections? Go for it, Your Majesty. Accused, state your name and occupation again, if you would.
I'll be your guide. I'm in training to be a monk, and I'm a tour guide, too.
I think your parents truly intended you to be a tour guide, and not a monk, judging by your name. Why me? Now, where were we? Cross-examining the defendant, Your Majesty. Right. Let's do that, then. At the defense attorney's insistence, I might add. He sounds a little dispirited. His wife must have given him a piece of her mind. Well, the defense had better get to it, and make it quick if you please.
The defense... Mr. Wright, I didn't know you were a lawyer.
Well, I am, and I'm here to defend you, Albie. Don't worry. All you have to do is tell the truth, and you'll be alright.
You tricked me.
What?
If I knew you were a lawyer, I wouldn't have given you that tour. Give back that Magatamon I gave you yesterday.
Albie, what's gotten into you?
Don't talk to me. You disgust me.
Well, now even Albie's against me. But why? This must be a new experience for you, Mr. Wright, being loathed by a client. Not exactly. I think it's happened before. Could be wrong, though. Now then, accused, please give the court your testimony. The incident occurred around noon, during the break between the morning and afternoon dances of devotion. I want you to tell the court what you were doing around that time.
All right.
Poor kid. He's fucking 9 years old. Got him on the witness stand for murder. I think this is a little more than a witness testimony. This is a defendant testimony. Which I think... Do they usually have the defendant testify? I have no idea. I don't know how courtrooms work.
I didn't kill Mr. Roll and I didn't steal the treasure. I'm not allowed to go anywhere near the treasure room. I've never even seen that treasure box with the green Cryonese butterfly on it.
Well, you screwed up there.
When the incident happened, I was in the hallway planning out my tour route.
Kiddo, you kind of messed up by an oddly specific detail about the treasure box's appearance. Were you well acquainted with the victim?
Yes, he used to chat with me whenever we ran into each other in the temple. The Roll was a monk in training when he was a kid too, you know.
I bet Albie looked up to him.
But he had to give that up and go to work when his family needed money. He became a guard. At least that way he could still stay on at the temple. He was so proud when he was put in charge of guarding the treasure box. He even got to carry the box to the palace for the New Year's rite.
The victim's parents apparently both died relatively young, so Mr. Roll had to support his younger brothers and sisters as well. But even with his job as a security guard, I'm sure things couldn't have been easy for him. It sounds like his circumstances and Albie's were very similar.
Mr. Roll encouraged me to never give up. Albie, you train hard and make sure you become a monk one day. Don't end up like me, he'd say. He was always cheering me on in my training and in my tour guide business, too. Why in the world would I kill a nice man like that?
Yes, I see. You express yourself well. And now that you've heard the accused account, are you finally satisfied? If so, let's draw this to an expeditious conclusion. But, Your Magistrate, I haven't even cross-examined the defendant yet. That wasn't the end of it. I don't rightly recall what this cross-examining thing is all about. A judge who doesn't know what a cross-examination is. What fresh hell is this? I really do wish I could remember how it works. Should I give the judge a refresher on cross-examination? Yeah, might as well. I guess I'd better, or we'll never get anywhere. Your Majesty, please allow me to explain the procedure. First, we lawyers listen carefully to a witness's testimony. Then we use present, E, to open the court record and examine the evidence. And why would you do that? To find and present, R, any evidence that's inconsistent with the statements given. Present? I certainly don't need any gifts from you. Clearly, something is getting lost in translation with His Majesty. The point is, it's possible that a statement could contain a lie or a mistake. But what do you do if you can't find any inconsistencies in a witness's testimony? In that case, we may press Q the witness for more information. Pressing a statement might reveal new information or even entirely new statements. Presenting evidence is one thing, but pressing witnesses? I'll have you know, defense, that I do not allow any violence in my courtroom. No, it's not violent. Rest assured, only gentle verbal pressure is used, no physical force involved. Well, I'm not convinced. After all, who knows what sort of tactics an attorney will resort to? One false move and I'll call the bailiff. Yeah, something's definitely getting lost in there. For now, I should just focus all of my energy on questioning Albie, and comparing his statements with the information in the court record. Alright, well, I already know there's an issue with what he said about the treasure box. I didn't kill Mr. Roll, and I didn't steal the treasure. Go anywhere near the treasure room. Never even seen that treasure box with the green Cryonese butterfly on it. I think I can just present... Can I just present this? Because that seems like it should work. Oh, Albie, why would you lie to me? So you say you've never laid eyes on the treasure box, is that right?
That's right. Forbidden, so I'd never do that.
In that case, how did you know there was a green butterfly on it?
Huh? Because I saw a picture of it in a newspaper article.
Nope. Take another look. These photos are in black and white. You couldn't possibly tell what color the butterfly is from these pictures.
Doug!
Kiddo, you're not doing yourself any favors. Hold on. His bag. Did it just move? Polkunka! I beg your pardon. Polkunka is a word in Chinese that people use when they're surprised. You just exposed a lie! So this is the power of cross-examination, is it? I should be the one shocked here by your shocking lack of understanding. But, just a moment. If the accused was lying, that just makes him more suspicious than ever. And this just makes things worse for me than ever. Albie, are you hiding something? Please give only true statements. I can't help you if you don't tell the truth. Do you have, like, an animal in there? Darn. Just can't seem to get him to open up to me. Heh heh heh. So, accused, you have seen the treasure box with your own eyes after all, haven't you?
Well, maybe I did take a peek one time a long time ago when I was cleaning the treasure room.
But you weren't in the treasure room at the time of the incident, right?
Of course I wasn't.
It took you a second to answer. That is a lie. You were most definitely inside the treasure room on the day of the incident. Maybe on the day of the incident, but what about that at the time of the incident? I have proof. He does? Found on the floor of the treasure room. It's a scroll entitled Notice and contains a list of temple monk duties. These instructions pertain to the day of the incident. And what exactly is that supposed to prove? The accused's fingerprints were found on the scroll. Oh, what?
Oh no! Where is it? It's not here! I must have dropped it somewhere.
Well, apparently you dropped it in the treasure room. Indeed, you must have dropped it when you were busy murdering the victim. Notice from the day of the incident, the defendant's fingerprints were found on it. Okay, so it does seem like that is, in fact, Albie's. Because he freaked out and was like, oh my gosh, it's not here. But, my guess is that he probably did not drop it there and someone else probably, like, stole it and planted it there. No. And then that means Albie was there on the day of the incident? Ha. So this is the power of cross-examination. The more the accused talks, the guiltier he paints himself. Yes, it would seem so, your majesty. Sorry, I had a little burp. He protected my argument and had evidence ready to refute it. How was any of that supposed to help the accused? See, I told you can't trust lawyers and their lies. Her benevolence already said the kid's guilty. Just declare him guilty and get it over with.
No. Everything's going all wrong. Shadoo, what do I do?
As I suspected, this cross-examination session has served no purpose whatsoever. No, you're wrong. But armed as we are with her benevolence's insight, there's no reason to doubt his guilt. I guess I'll just have to poke holes in this insight of hers. By the way, this didn't prove to be very interesting at all, Mr. Payne. Nevertheless, I will now finally announce my verdict. Wait just one moment, I haven't seen this divination seance for myself yet. As the defense, I have the right to check it. Is that really necessary? I have to get home and apologize to my wife. I guess she really did give him the business. Your Majesty, I enthusiastically support having Mr. Wright see the seance. You do? And why is that, Mr. Payne? Don't you want to see it? See the lawyer being utterly crushed by the power of the seance? And then watch him tearfully beg for mercy? Well now, I'm sure it'll make up for not getting to go to that class with your wife. It certainly does sound worth seeing, and it'd give me a juicy tidbit to tell the missus. Ha 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 ha. I've been reduced to a juicy tidbit? Apologies for the small break, I was just double-checking to make sure I am in fact recording. Well, for an interloper, I imagine you do have to see it for yourself to be convinced. Certainly unprecedented, but let's have the divination seance performed again. Then, right after the tearful begging, I really do have to be going. The only tearful begging is going to come from the prosecution when we're through. Hehehe. How pitiful the defense looks, still scrambling desperately for a foothold. One moment. Blissfully unaware that defeat and despair are all that await him. Let's see this divination seance, sorry. A. There she is, her benevolence. Your benevolence, Rayford Padma Kurain, thank you for coming all this way once again.
Your gratitude is unnecessary. This is simply my duty. Barb-headed attorney.
Yes?
I am told you questioned the veracity of the sacred divination seance. It would seem the depths of your irreverence and blasphemy are lost on you.
I'm just a foreigner, ignorant in the ways and customs of this country. I apologize in advance for anything rude I might say or do, your benevolence. All I want is a fair trial for Albie.
You would imply that the trials of this country are unfair? Do explain, outsider. How verdicts founded on truths imparted by the very souls of the dead lack impartiality.
What's fair about trials with no defense and no chance for the accused to tell their story? How dare you speak to her benevolence in that manner?
Did you hear that? Did you hear how he talked to her benevolence? What does he know about anything, ignorant outsider?
We won't stand for it. He must be punished. Yikes. Looks like I really stuck my foot in it this time. Punish him. Punish him. Okay, yeah. He doesn't look too happy about that.
Silence, one and all.
Is she standing up for me? Oh no, absolutely not. She's about to kick your ass.
Be not disquieted, my people. He merely expresses his opinion.
Oh well. Looks like her benevolence is going to be more reasonable than I thought.
Attorneys are ghastly creatures with souls stained black by brazen untruths.
Never mind. Never mind, she's not going to be reasonable at all.
The words of a lowly worm such as that are not worth troubling yourselves over.
Alright, I take that back. Hey, maybe she'll be kind of cool. This guy stinks and sucks and he's awful and I hate him. Oh, well, never mind then.
None of his prattling can sway the truth of my insights. Rest assured he will soon see the error of his foolish ways.
Now then, your benevolence. The divination seance, if you would.
Certainly. Naina, my robe.
Alright.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name.
I didn't think there would be voice acting.
Let the eyes of everyone
Less
here
work for
be
me.
clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Okay. So we're going to actually, like, see the last thing, Mr. Pat Roll saw. That'll be interesting. Did someone turn off all the lights? Seems a little odd to me that they didn't just do this in 2D. But who am I to judge, I guess. Alright, so that's the Pool of Souls. Someone brought the whole band and chorus in for this little procedure here. It does look a little awkward, because it seems like the entire rest of the courtroom is just completely empty as she's doing this. I'm assuming the divination seances are going to be sort of a mechanic throughout this game. Huh. Boy's voice, Song of Ceremony, Incense, Pain? Okay. Well, Albie, that does not look good for you. What just happened? An image appeared in the pool. A final message from the victim's soul, the last communication of his mitama. The divination seance has revealed this to us. Her benevolence can use her power of spirit communion to project a victim's memories of the last few moments before their demise. So what we saw in the pool is what Mr. Roll actually experienced? In the victim's memories, we see the accused raising a weapon up over his head. This is consistent with the findings of the police investigation.
There has to be some kind of mistake. I didn't do it.
This looks bad for Albie. Really, really bad. Give me one moment. How do I... Okay, I see the issue. He was hit on the back of the head, but Albie was in front of him. So, there's a problem. Hehehe. Now do you see why I'm the incredible pain? An incredible pain in my ass. I already made that joke. More than I can... Why did I... That's not his accent. More than I can express. But even if those really are the victim's last memories, what can I do with them? Hehehe. There it is. There's the face of a man being utterly crushed.
Oh, how long I've waited to see it. Isn't it wonderfully gratifying, Your Majesty?
Oh yes, very satisfying indeed. Now are you finally convinced, Traveler? The accused is most assuredly guilty. Am I really the only unbiased one here? Now then, I think we've been amused enough. If you give up now, I won't even invoke the Defense Culpability Act against you. The what? You can be free to slink back to your own country with your tail between your legs. The Defense Culpability Act? What's that? What? You mean you honestly don't know? I feel... Phoenix, Mr. Phoenix Wright, sir. I feel like you should have done more research on your destination before coming to this country. Just a tip. If you're going to another country, you should maybe look some stuff up first. You know, like laws, whether or not defense attorneys are allowed, vaccinations, any weird rituals and performances they do in the courtroom to determine the accused's guilt, that sort of thing. Those should be on the standard list of things you look up before traveling to another country. No? And now the gallery is whispering again. I'll be standing on a box because he's too short. That's funny. What's with all the hubbub?
Well, well. Not only is he a lying, black-hearted lawyer, he's also an imbecile. Your Majesty, I think you'd better explain the Defense Culpability Act to him.
Yes, I think I'd better. The Defense Culpability Act, or DC Act for short, is as follows. In the name of Her Eminence, those who would support criminals will be deemed just as guilty. In other words, if you help the accused by defending him and he is found guilty, you will receive the same sentence as he.
What? What kind of insane law is that?
Under the DC Act, many an attorney has been convicted and met with a grim fate. Some went to prison, others received the death penalty. That's why there are so few in our country today who admit to being an attorney. Well, that's no way to run a courtroom.
That's as it should be. The history of our courts proves that. Attorneys are black-souled creatures who will tell any lie to save the accused. Thus, attorneys deserve to be exterminated.
Well, seems I'm not very welcome in this country. I've never felt so much hostility coming at me from so many sides. What could happen to make everyone feel this way? Is that something we're gonna, get into eventually? You fell right into my trap, Phoenix Wright. Your win streak against me and my brother ends today. With the Seance and the DC Act on my side, I'll finally get my revenge. So that's why he was so eager to have me defend Albie. You are incredibly petty if you are, willing to get him, thrown in jail and or executed just because of a little grudge you have. Isn't there a better way to handle it? Sorry, I was drinking water. Chased out and humiliated back home, fate brought me to the foothills of Courtroom. I thank my lucky stars that I'm chief prosecutor here now. Defense, know that if I rule that the accused is guilty, you will go to prison too. That explains Albie's reaction earlier.
Defend me? Mr. Wright, what are you saying? You can't do that.
Your Majesty, isn't a prison sentence a bit lenient? After all, we're talking about treason. One should pay for such a crime with one's life. He is trying to get me killed. That is probably the first time that has happened. The first time the opposing attorney has actively tried to get Phoenix Wright killed. Yes, I believe the death penalty might be appropriate under these circumstances. The death penalty? No way. You're kidding, right, Your Majesty? Do I look like I'm kidding? I'll have you put your life and your dark tainted soul on the line here. Death? This can't be happening.
The courts of resignation. Our courts are well known as thus. In this land where my seances provide the truth and no attorneys can intervene, criminals know that all they can do is resign themselves to their fate.
Oh, foreign lawyer, I ask you once more. Are you sure you still want to defend the accused? Good. There's Maya to think of in all this, too. I can't just lay down my life. What in the world should I do? Continue the defense, because I know I'm right. I saw that opening cutscene. Isn't this why I became a lawyer in the first place? Oh. To help those with no one on their side? That's a real throwback to the very first game. I can't just abandon everything I believe in. All I can do now is stand firm and fight. Well, don't hold your tears back on my account, Phoenix Wright. Admit your defeat and grovel before me, the chief prosecutor, for your life. No can do. Even if it means being subject to the Defense Culpability Act, I will defend Albie. What?
But Mr. Wright...
You might want to stand back up. The defendant insists he's innocent, and not even a divination seance should be accepted without examination. Pull my finger. It'll be real funny, I promise. Pull my finger.
Gah!
But if I'm found guilty, you will get the death penalty too. Even knowing that you still want to defend me?
I don't know what happened in the past, but it looks like everyone in this country considers lawyers to be liars. So I can understand if you don't believe me. But I still believe in you and your innocence. So all I have to do is keep believing and find the truth. That's all there is to it.
Barb-headed attorney, you continue to amuse me. Though your barbed jabs are proving to be more than mere jokes.
Your benevolence? Believe me when I say that this attorney will knock your insides out.
Insolent, disrespectful attorney. You'll have plenty of time to regret your folly in the Twilight Realm.
I think you people take the matter of death and execution a little too lightly here. Does human life mean nothing to you people? Not a wise move, Traveler. Not wise at all. You should have taken the chance I offered to save your life. You have made your choice. The Culpability Act will be applied in this case. And with this verdict, you'll both soon be parting with your heads. Well, that... Once you've got a whole room of people chanting death, that's usually a bad sign.
The souls of the departed speak only the truth, and I but give their messages a voice. I think my insights contain falsehood. I challenge you to prove it.
I don't necessarily think your insights contain falsehood. However, I do think they're missing something. Rifa's insight.
The accused swung whatever he was holding down on the victim's head. With the pain, the victim's vision went dark. This is when he lost his life. Still, I can't believe it. A murder after the morning dance of devotion? These are the victim's experiences just before his death.
As the victim's final memories, we can assume they are... So how do I break this down?
Allow me to relieve you of your ignorance defense. Did you notice the words that appeared in the seance vision?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I did. Come to think of it, I did see words, like Song of Ceremony and Incense. But if it was... supposedly... Didn't it... He was claimed to have died at noon. And I think they said between the morning and afternoon dances. So why was he hearing the Song of Ceremony at noon? Right? Am I like overthinking, or am I forgetting something, or am I right? Also, he was hit on the back of the head, I think. The victim's final memories are not limited to sight alone. Sight, smell, taste, sound, touch, all is laid bare in the pool of souls. So what Mr. Roll experienced with his 5 senses appears in the vision as words, right?
Precisely. And by examining these sensations, we can perceive the victim's final moments with unparalleled clarity.
Works for me. I can use all the extra information I... A contradiction between her insights and the seance vision. Your benevolence, I ask that you please show me the seance vision again.
Very well.
Don't do the whole cutscene again. Thank you. Incense. So he was smelling incense, heard the Song of Ceremony, heard Boy's voice, which would be Albie. Boy's voice even louder, and then pain. And that's it. Alright. Wait a minute. Her benevolence said after the morning dance of devotion earlier, didn't she? Yeah, I was right. Right. Isn't there something off about that? First, I'll use A and D to make my way to the insight that seems off. That. Yes, this is the insight that sounded funny. Now I'll just carefully compare this insight with the seance vision. If I notice a sensation that seems contradictory, I'll select R. It. Incense. This is it. This is the part of the vision that contradicts the insight. Now I just select the sensation I think is inconsistent and then present R it. There. Song of Ceremony. Wait just a moment. Yes? What is it, Barbed Head? You're saying the incident occurred after the morning dance of devotion, right? That's right. What of it? Then isn't it strange that Mr. Roll could still hear the Song of Ceremony? Oh my! You're absolutely right. Was there like a rehearsal, or...
Is that all that troubles you?
Huh?
What the victim heard was just a practice run of the Song of Ceremony.
So there was a rehearsal. Practice run? What are you talking about?
Mr. Payne, if you would.
I feel like practice run is pretty self-explanatory. Certainly. Allow me to explain. The incident occurred in the interval between the morning and afternoon dances. During that time, the singers were practicing in the performance hall.
Precisely. I was there as well, so I can corroborate this statement.
I see. So what the victim heard was that practice session. Ugh, there goes my contradiction. Okay, so they were practicing in this performance hall. That must be the room where Albie and I saw her benevolence dancing. Apologies. However, Mr. Payne, I admit one detail troubles me. Ask away, Your Majesty. It's a big temple. The performance hall and treasure room are quite far from each other. Won't really be heard all the way in the treasure room? He's right. It is a very big temple. Well, how about it, Mr. Payne? Your Majesty, have you forgotten? There are speakers in every room of Temple, including the treasure room. Oh, that's right. Speakers? For what purpose? Are you serious, Mr. Wright? They're to broadcast the sacred music of the performance hall throughout the temple.
That's why the victim could hear the Song of Ceremony in the seance vision. It was the practice run going on in the performance hall, heard over the speakers.
Thank you for your explanation, Your perfect sense, even to a feeble-minded old man like me.
Think nothing of it.
Now, if you wouldn't mind, could you please alter your insights for us?
Very well. Practice run through the temple speakers.
Okay. Then could the incense be an issue? I think I'm getting the hang. If I point out an inconsistency, she'll update her insights accordingly. So if I keep pointing things out, maybe I can knock all of her insights out after all. Better find another inconsistency, no matter how small. It's been hard to focus on the insights with the seance vision going. I'll try using pause Z to temporarily stop the vision. There. I paused the vision. I think I can use M and B to jump to different parts of the vision. I'll try moving the Mitama mark to the flashing red panel there. Okay, now that I know how to get around in seance visions, it's time to find inconsistencies between the insights and the vision. Okay. Okay, so we don't actually see him do that, but I don't think that's what it wants. Hang on. With the pain. Okay, no, his, should I try this? Because his vision is already dark, but there's no pain. Is it this?
Objection!
You're saying the victim's field of vision went dark right after he was struck, correct? Of course, as anyone with eyes can see. Well, pardon me, but I must disagree. What? Your benevolence, please take another look at the exact moment the victim felt pain. Oh! Everything goes black, and then, only after that, the victim feels pain. Inconceivable. This places the order of events at odds with what you say happened. My word! Polkunka! Your benevolence! What is the meaning of this? I cannot be wrong. My insights are beyond fallacy. If what the defense says is true, this is a very grave matter indeed. Please forgive me, your benevolence, but I'm afraid this contradiction is something we simply can't ignore. Heh. Now, let's not be too hasty, Your Majesty. I think I can clear this up. You have something to add, Mr. Payne? 1,000 apologies. It seems the prosecution has failed to make one tiny thing clear. And that would be... On the day of the incident, there was a power outage, a blackout in one part of the temple. I recall, the crime scene was in that sector. The power outage must be why the victim's field of vision went dark. I apologize for neglecting to tell the court this. I'm afraid it slipped my mind. Or rather, you knew all along and are only letting it slip now that it's convenient, Payne. The power outage knocked out both the lights and the speakers. Oh, there was a blackout there, was there? Well, now, that explains everything, does it not? What do you mean, Your Benevolence? Please share your thoughts with us, if you would. The blackout occurred when the accused and the victim were faced with one another. Fearing the victim would flee under the cover of darkness, the accused swiftly brought his weapon down on the victim's head. I see. That makes perfect sense, Your Benevolence. So the victim was struck after the lights went out. The depth of your insight is awe-inspiring, Your Benevolence. Give her a hand, everyone. Well done! Long may you live and prosper! Hey, I want to live long and prosper, too! Enough applause. You flatter me. Now, Your Benevolence, in light of this new information... Yes, of course. I will alter my insight. Moment after the blackout began. So much for my inconsistency. I was able to draw out some new info. Info comes a chance to find new inconsistencies. Now to compare the insights with the vision again and see what else I can dig up. Smells incense. Okay, I think I see the problem. Because Song of Ceremony is still there after his vision goes dark. So I believe I can present Song of Ceremony.
Objection!
Because if the speaker's allegedly turned off, he shouldn't be able to hear it. Yes, I finally found it! This is the gaping hole I've been looking for! Your Benevolence, as impressive as your spirit communion power is, it's not infallible. You never know when to stop talking, do you? Nope. I hope you realize your words are an insult to all adherents of Koreanism. Defense, watch what you say. If you don't mind that tongue of yours, you won't have one left to mind. I keep changing. Certainly not my intention to insult spirit mediums, but maybe I'm not the one who needs to learn when to stop talking. What malarkey. I believe you said a few moments ago that the victim could hear the Song of Ceremony thanks to the temple's speakers. But then, how do you explain how the victim could still hear the Song of Ceremony even after the power went out?
Oh,
This contradiction of facts can only mean that the Song of Ceremony Mr. Roll heard was not coming from the speakers.
what? Impossible!
What are you saying? That the song he heard was coming directly from the performance hall? That's exactly what I'm saying. It's the only possible explanation. But the scene of the crime was nowhere near the performance hall. Right. The song couldn't make it all the way to the treasure room. Not unless...
You mean to say...
Yes, the treasure room was not the actual scene of the crime. It must have been somewhere else, somewhere closer to the performance hall.
What?
You can't be serious. There is a glaring contradiction in the claims of her benevolence and the prosecution. Therefore, the defense insists that this case be thoroughly re-examined.
What?
No. This is completely unprecedented. An inconsistency in her benevolence's insights? Unbelievable.
Heed not his forked tongue, your majesty. These are but the claims of a corrupt lawyer, a feeble ruse from a feeble mind.
But the contradiction revealed by the defense is undeniable. We can't just turn a blind eye to it. But the defense's assertion is in the end meaningless, even if the location of the murder turned out to be different. It doesn't change what we've seen of the moment of the murder.
Indeed, the accused is standing right there in front of the victim. Furthermore, the murder weapon remains raised above his head. My insights still stand.
I hate to admit it, but she's right. The seance vision still makes the situation look really grim for Albie. I doubt even the defense can dream up an explanation as to why. The accused had his hands up over his head. Well, this defense dares to dream of making it out of this nightmare alive.
You what? You still insist on trying to tear down my insights, do you? You'd better be prepared to back up your claim. Remember what will happen to that tongue of yours if we find you are just wagging it.
Of course I can back up my claim. Just as soon as I think of something. You appear to be fully prepared, defense. As the embodiment of this court, I give you permission to try and prove your claim, as long as you're willing to stake your life on it.
I concur, your majesty. Prepare the tongue shears. Chop chop.
Chop chop? Yes, let's have the bailiff fetch them. I think I saw a suitable pair in the basement. Chop chop.
Stop.
I hear that lying lawyers have several tongues to spare. I'm sure he won't miss one. Yikes. These people are actually serious. That just got through to you? I'm rather attached to my tongue. Think, Phoenix, think. Other than to raise a weapon, why would Albie have held his hands up like that? Probably because it was a security guard? Yeah. Because the guard had, caught him sneaking in a place where he wasn't supposed to be, maybe. Aha, so that's why. The reason the defendant had his hands up over his head can be explained by something in the crime photo. What explains it would be the gun. As in the seance vision, I witnessed the defendant raise both of his hands over his head yesterday. You did? Where did you see such a thing? When the police had their guns trained on him as they made their arrest. Oh, are you saying... The victim was a security guard, and an armed one at that. The defense proposes that the victim had pointed his firearm at Albie, and that's why the defendant's hands were raised in the air. And she faints. That's... And the priestess is unconscious. That's not great. Who would have thought the seance vision could be interpreted that way? This is not possible. She's already awake.
It can't be.
Not bad for a total knockout. How dare that lawyer devil go against her benevolence? He's no better than that traitorous snake Dirk. Who the hell is Dirk? Traitorous snake? Dirk? Who's that?
No, I can't believe it. A contradiction in one of my insights? There has to be some kind of mistake. I won't accept it.
That's right, your benevolence, and I won't accept it either. If it goes against all we hold sacred, throw him in jail immediately for lese-majesty, I believe. What? Yeah, you said it, throw him in jail! Yes, make him pay for the way he disrespected her benevolence! Ugh, these people are definitely not my fans right now. That's right, exterminate them! And they're back on this again. Do you people have anything better to do with your time? Peace! Give me peace! I said peace! Now, everyone, please calm down. Is he... Your Majesty, please assign this black-hearted attorney a suitable punishment. Come on, Judge. No, I can't charge him with lese-majesty. What? What? But why not, your Majesty? He was simply following the proper procedure for defending the accused. There's nothing unlawful about that. But, your Majesty, don't you want to wrap this trial up quickly? I already missed the lesson, and my wife is already mad at me. I have little else to lose at this. Why not just give your verdict? Then you can go home and make it up to your wife. And end the trial now, not when we just learned new information about the case. What? Your Majesty, not you two. You would honestly entertain the idea that my insight contains a contradiction? Truly, it is shocking. In the 20-plus years since the DC Act went into effect, such a thing has never occurred. To be honest, I didn't want to believe it either. But with his life on the line, the defense pointed out an inconsistency, and it is our duty to scrutinize it to the satisfaction of the law. You dare go against the royal priestess, you non-believer? No, my faith is as strong as ever, but I have a duty to make a fair ruling in this trial. If you insist on interfering with that process, your benevolence, I'm afraid I must request your removal from this courtroom, royal priestess or not. What? I'll have you know. Your benevolence? Please acquiesce in this, your benevolence. If looks could kill... I won't forget this offense, Barbed Head. I do not admit defeat. I won't. Bailiff, please see her benevolence out. Your Mitama will face due retribution in the Twilight Realm. The demons there they'll pluck the barbs right off your stupid head. I hope your suffering will be super-duper painful. And I hope they throw you into a lake of burning fire, yeah, and then... Well, she's a very nice girl. I guess she's still just a teenager after all. Does the court records say how... She's 14. That explains everything. Now then, defense. Right, was it? That's right, your Majesty. Phoenix Wright. Of course. Mr. Wright. My apologies. Well, now that we have this newly uncovered fact, I suggest we proceed with arguments. Thank you, your Majesty. Yes. Not misunderstand me. Me and I trust you completely. I'll be keeping a close eye on you, so don't even think about lying to this court. I understand, your Majesty. Whew. Maybe now we could finally run a real trial. Arguments, your Majesty? Very well. I accept your challenge. Huh? What's with him? Oh, the look on your face, Mr. It's just... it's just too hilarious. So funny, Mr. The defense still doesn't get it. If he unearthed is going to bury him in his case instead. What do you mean by that, prosecutor? I told you, it's chief prosecutor. Yes, because that's the thing to focus on right now. The defense is digging its own grave. For this, your Majesty. Why would the victim, a security guard, point a gun at the accused? Oh. Oh, indeed. The accused was about to commit a theft. It's the only logical explanation. What? That does sound pretty logical, actually. It doesn't help the accused situation at all. If anything, it makes him look even more guilty. Yes, I have to agree. Allow me to spell out this truth the defense didn't bother to think through. Mr. Roll came across the accused just as he was trying to steal the treasure. The guard pointed his gun at the accused, and just when the power went out, the accused murdered the victim and hid his body in the treasure room. Gnurg. A hand truck for moving heavy treasure around is stored in the treasure room. The accused could have easily moved the body with that. And after all that hard work to knock down those insights, back into the old familiar corner once more. Mr. Wright, do you have a rebuttal? No. I'm drawing a total blank here. I hope you're ready to climb that scaffold. I asked you a question, defense. I've got nothing. I can't think of any grounds for an objection. The only thing to do at this point is ask the defendant himself what happened, but I don't know if Albie will cooperate with me or not. Albie? Will you tell us what really happened? You don't have to say anything, accused. Fall for his evil trap and you'll only dirty your own soul. Albie, you have to tell me the truth. I can't help you unless you do.
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry.
Why? Why won't he trust me? Is this it? Is this the end? For both of us? Maya, I'm sorry. I never met a real lawyer before. Oh, there's Albie.
Everybody always told me they're bad people who help dirty criminals go free. And I never thought a lawyer would actually try to help me. Actually believe in me. Risk his own life for me. I never would have even imagined it.
Albie.
So, that's why I lied. To try and save myself. But I'm not going to lie anymore. If you believe in me enough to put your life on the line, then I'm going to believe in you too.
Attaboy. What?
Allow me to explain!
Well. Now we're talking. Time to finally get to the bottom of things.
To be honest, I went to the treasure room lots of times to look at the treasure box.
Even though the temple told you weren't allowed to go anywhere near it?
Yes, I'm sorry. Mr. Roll even saw me once and scolded me. But that box is so beautiful. The way it glows in the dark, I couldn't help myself.
Wait, it glows in the dark?
That's right. It's covered in this special mineral called fluorinite that makes it glow.
Would that fluorinite by any chance, contain uranium? Because uranium will also glow. There is some, like, dishware that glows because it has uranium in it. And it's shockingly perfectly safe as long as it's not broken. But if you break the uranium dishware, you're going to get radiation poisoning, probably. I don't know. I'm not a radiation expert.
It's absolutely breathtaking. It's really a shame they don't put it on display for the public. Can you imagine how many people would go on night tours of the temple if they did?
If only he applied such passion to telling me the truth earlier. Murder weapon. It was forced open and its contents were stolen. Glows in the dark. Ah, well then. That's another thing with the blackout, because he would have seen it glowing.
On the day of the incident, I was on my way to the treasure room again. When I ran into Mr. Roll on the Great Stairs.
So those were not the treasure room stairs in the seance vision.
No, they were the Great Stairs that connected the hallway.
Makes sense. The vision wasn't clear enough to show us what was at the top of the stairs. Okay.
All of a sudden, Mr. Roll drew his gun and threatened me with it. I quickly put my hands up. Mr. Roll, he acted so scary. For some reason, he had his scarf over his mouth. I couldn't read his expression at all. Just then, the power went out. So I took that chance to hightail it out of there. I ran for my life, even now when I try to think back on it. All I can remember are the gun and the piercing look in Mr. Roll's eyes. That must have been when I dropped the notice scroll.
Which means someone else brought it to the treasure room along with Mr. Roll's body. Did Mr. Roll say anything to you when you ran into him on the stairs? What is it, Albie?
I have no idea why, but asked me a strange question. Did you steal it? He said.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't say all this before. I didn't think anybody would believe me.
A grand speech. One that confirmed my suspicions that you were the thief. It's possible the victim simply misread the situation. Where there's smoke, there's fire, as they say. The victim must have had good reason to be suspicious of the accused. Why does every new piece of information have to seem so incriminating?
Shadow, what do I do, Shadow?
It's probably Shadow, not Shadow. What better reason to suspect the boy than seeing the treasure box in his hands? In the course of his rounds, the victim must have noticed that the treasure had been stolen, and then just after that, he ran into the accused. I'll be your guide.
No, that's not what happened.
Therefore, the one who stole the treasure and killed the victim can be none other than the accused. You did have an animal in there. Is that a little dog? What now?
Hey, Shadow, down, boy!
Well, what do we have here?
I'm sorry about this. My dog, Shadow.
You nearly gave me a heart attack. So that's what was making his bag move. Can't you quiet that yappy mutt down?
Shadow says that Mr. Roll made a mistake.
You can understand him? Don't tell me this is a surprise witness for the defense. Oh, I beg your pardon? You're not thinking of cross-examining an animal, are you? Well, it wouldn't be the first time. Of course not, Your Majesty. Not this time, anyway. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I thought I'd have to reassess my assessment of your sanity for a second there. I think I'd better reassess my strategy, and fast. I have to somehow show that somebody else could have struck the victim or were sunk. While it's true that the defendant was standing in front of the victim when he died, it doesn't mean somebody else couldn't have struck the victim at that time. If you're going to go that far, then I hope this means you have another angle of approach ready. Exactly. I mean, who but the accused standing front and center could have done it? You do know the direction of behind someone exists, right? Unless you can back up your claim, it's nothing more than conjecture. Okay. Come on, Phoenix, I know I can think of something convincing. Where else could the victim have been struck from? Behind. With the defendant standing in front of the victim, isn't it possible that the victim could have been struck from behind? From behind, you say? I see. Yes, I suppose it's not outside the realm of possibility. Good. Now it was to have some breathing room. But who do you suppose it could have been? Oh, the true culprit, naturally. The one who actually committed the theft and murder. The true culprit? I suppose you have a true timeline of events to go along with that? I should have known I'd have to explain everything. Alright, if we assume the true culprit struck the victim from behind, then that means... After going to the treasure room and stealing the treasure, the true culprit tried to escape. But then Mr. Rowe appeared, making his rounds. I imagine the culprit then quickly hid in the storeroom at the other end of the hallway. Hehehe. You're grasping at straws, Mr. Wright. Admit it, you have nothing but baseless conjecture. I'm going to look for something to base it on right now. Albie, when you ran into Mr. Rowe in the hallway, was there anyone around the storeroom area?
I don't know. There might have been somebody there, but I couldn't see. I was only halfway down the stairs, so I couldn't see the ends of that hallway.
I see. Swing and a miss.
Oh, Shadow says that someone was there.
I see. Thank you for that. Too bad his testimony is inadmissible.
Hehehe.
You think this is a joke? Maybe the defendant didn't happen to see this other person. But that doesn't mean the true culprit couldn't have been there in the hallway. Your desperate floundering is getting hard to watch. But I will enjoy watching you think. What are you talking about? Fortunately for you, only the accused and the victim were there in that hallway at the time of the incident. How can you continue to make that assertion? Because there was a very reliable eyewitness. What? Your Majesty, the prosecution would like to call its witness to the stand. Calling an eyewitness to the stand, It's been decades since it happened. It seems like it's been decades since this courtroom has seen a proper use. I'm surprised everything in here isn't, like, dusty. And unlike the defense's witness, you can rest assured that there are no pets involved. That was a low blow. Yeah, the dog's not happy about that one. Very well, I'll allow it. And now for something we've not heard in quite some time. Bring the witness to the stand.